How's it going, my true people? Dr. Slacking, the Slacking Doctor, back on Pokemon Showdown for week, God knows what, week 7? I think week 7 of the ABC, that is the Associated Battle Community. I'm your coach of the Bowland Bovines, and this week we're going up against Socrates and his Vespiquen Park Rangers. This is, I believe, the 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the 4th time we should have played Soc, but I believe one of those was forfeit, so I think this is our 3rd time playing Socrates. He is currently 2-0 against us. We've never beaten him. He was the runner-up in the ABC last season, and I'm sure he's trying to go one better to win this season. Not making excuses off the bat, but this is a team built in a big rush, so it is not my best team. This was during the time where I had deadlines and everything, and I just wasn't able to build as well as I would have liked, and then Kate came to visit me, so I was spending time with her, and it was a whole thing. We are not having a team builder for this one because I'm trying to speed up my videos, and I just did one with a team builder that was supposed to be sped up, and it was still half an hour long. I just apparently can't do fast videos. Apparently I ramble. So what we're going to do instead is I'm just going to tell you this is an offensive Lopunny with a sub-encore high jump kick return. This is a Scolipede with Poisonium Z, X-Scissor, Poison Jab, Sword Stance, and I got it set open, Earthquake. This is a Scarf Hydreigon, I believe. Yeah, this is a true Scarf Hydreigon. I've got the set just there, which is why I'm looking over there. With Draco Meteor, Dark Force, Flash Cannon, and U-Turn. This is a Spadef Amoonguss. Supposed to eat up hits from the Clefable, the Jolteon, and really crucially, I don't see a Spore switching on his team, so really try and get that Spore off early. Also to deal with the Mega Blastoise. Then we have a Fizdef Slowbro. Let's try and war the Hariyama, but particularly the Zygarde, and then we have a Rocks, Defog, Empoleon. So I haven't actually watched this replay back, and it was a few days ago, so I may be a little bit rusty. I should also point out this is min speed, 0 speed IVs, Amoonguss, and Slowbro, to try and at least speed tie with Reuniclus under Trick Room and cause us some issues if he wants to go for the Trick Room sweep, because Trick Room looks really nice against my team. So we decided to leave up with the Amoonguss here, and this seems like a super weird lead, I realise. But looking at his team, I'm like, okay, what is his lead? Like a Clefable or Jolteon? Ideally for Rocks or Volt Switch. Otherwise, he's trying to counter lead me, and there's nothing that Amoonguss doesn't lead well against particularly. So crucially, I just want to fire for Spore. I think he's going to Volt Switch. I don't think he's going to stay in. And I just want to get something put to sleep, because that's the first thing I noticed about his team was like, there's no Spore switching, there's no Grass type. So let's find out if he has anything with Goggles, because if he does, it's coming in now. And he goes out into Hariyama, and I'm like, okay, this didn't go to sleep, that's cool. So Hariyama goes to sleep, it's not Goggles. And I'm like, wow, we stop it from getting its Flame Orb Guts off. Perfect. So what do I want to go into on this thing? Let's go straight into Lopunny. Let's just go straight into my hard-hitting Mon and deal some massive damage here. And well, he brought Sleep Talk. He brought Sleep Talk Hariyama to switch into Spore Amoonguss, which is a great bring. Can't even argue. But we are going to get Pamela up with a substitute. The reason being, if we took another hit from this thing, or he Sleep Talked like Rest or something, because I'm like, I guess this is a Rest set. It wasn't. It was Sleep Talk 3 attacks, I believe. Close Combat, Knockoff, and Heavy Slam. We've just seen the knockoffs. We actually got the best of the 3 attacks it could have been. But I want to try and potentially encore him into Sleep Talk even when he's awake, and just get rid of that Hariyama, because suddenly it's a scary, scary problem, because it is getting the Guts boost because it's asleep. Terrifying. So we just sub up, but also it means that we can hit anything on his team decently hard. But he's brought Rocky Helmet Reuniclus. Wasn't really expecting that. I thought it would be like a Trick Room Sweeper set, so I was like, damn, that sucks. But we might as well switch out into Empoleon here. I think he's just going to click Recover so that he can knock me out with a Rocky Helmet. It makes sense. And he's going to go out into Hariyama on the Empoleon, but I'm just going to get Rocks up, because I'm like, hey, may as well get Rocks up. Here, we are absolutely terrified of a Sleep Talk Close Combat, so we're going to go out into Amoonguss. We can take a knockoff decently well, it's not too bad. But he goes in a Heavy Slam. I didn't see this one coming either. That does a load of damage. Self-censorship there. It does a hell of a lot of damage, like too much damage. And then he calls that he's going to wake up this turn and clicks Heavy Slam instead of Sleep Talk. I'm like, what? How did you even... and now we can't stay in because we know he's going to go for a knockoff. We can pivot back into Amoonguss. And crucially here, I realise that I have built my Slowbro, and we are Oblivious, not Regenerator. So we can't even regen off the health, which is the other reason that we couldn't just tank that knockoff. So I'm like, crap, I'm not Regenerator, and then I'm going to lose to we're going to lose to Zygarde. So I just have to let the Amogus go down so that I can get in Pamela for free. He doesn't have Muck Punch, so we can click return or Bullet Punch. So we click return and put huge damage on this thing. And finally, this absolute monster is put down to a range where it can't do too much against me. Now we're just going to go for the setup with Scolipede. This thing can't do more than like 30% to my Scolipede. So we're just going to go for broke here and try and sweep. And I'm like, okay, we're just going to pop off the poison jab? Yeah, the poison jab. We get the crit and we drop the Reuniclus. I mean, it doesn't matter too much other than we would have taken another thing of Rocky Helmet. Which I guess does kind of matter, but it doesn't really because the way I play the next bit. So we would have killed him with X's regardless. And now he goes out into Zygarde. And I'm like, okay, he brought in the Reuniclus knowing that I would have Bug Stab, presumably just to get Rocky Helmet Chip. That means this thing's Banded E-Speed. Like, there's one thing to bluff Banded E-Speed by just bringing it in, but it's another thing to deliberately stack your Rocky Helmet Mon to get the chip to put me, like, this put it as a roll on the Banded E-Speed on my Scolipede set. So I was like, that's too deliberate. That's not a bluff. Like, you don't, I don't know. I don't think he sacks his Reuniclus just to bluff me. Maybe, but it's a lot. So I was like, okay, we're going to have to preserve the Scolipede because it still can win, maybe. So we're going to have to go out and Slowbro. This was our dedicated Zygarde check. You can see here it was at 98% because I didn't put regen because I'm an idiot. It didn't really matter. Well, it did matter because it changed the way I played around the Hariyama, I guess, but nevertheless. He goes out into Clefable as I double into Hydreigon because I think that he won't stay in. But I think, what did I think he'd go into? Jolteon. I thought he'd go into Jolteon. He didn't. So I was just able to U-turn out on this thing. I go out into Empoleon. It gives me really, really free Empoleon if he wants to Moonblast, which he should. I can take that really well. Unfortunately, he gets a special attack drop, which kind of sucks, but it doesn't really change the long game. I'm still just going to pop off a Flash Cannon. We don't 2-hit KO with that special attack drop. I believe if we do 37 with the special attack drop, we would have 2-hit KO'd. So, and we outsped, so that would have been really, really nice. But we're just going to defog away the rocks because I'm like, no, I don't want you to have rocks. I need my Scolipede to at least be a roll with that Zygarde on the Banded E-Speed, worst case scenario. So we're just going to pop off a Flash Cannon here as he goes out into Jolteon. And here we go into Hydreigon because we can take any hit from this thing. It's not going to be able to do a lot to us at all. As he goes for Substitute, and I'm like, that's fine. I'm just going to click Dark Pulse here and break your sub. As he goes for the Hidden Power Ice. And here, it looks like he should go into the Clefable. He's seen that I'm Scarf. I outsped because I broke his sub. I'm locked into Dark Pulse. He should go into Clefable. And if he goes into Clefable, my best switching is Empoleon. I've already seen that I've made like a couple of aggressive switches. So I'm pretty sure that Socrates is actually just going to stay in. I'm pretty sure that he's going to expect me to go into Empoleon and just stay in here and go for a Thunderbolt. And I really don't want to deal with that. Hydreigon can... I can just get Chip on the Clefable and then go into Empoleon anyway, and I'm still at 85%. So it really doesn't seem worth me going into Empoleon here. I'm just like, well, what? It doesn't achieve anything. And this thing still can't hurt me. I'm just going to get extra Chip on the Clefable and then come in anyway. So I'm like, okay, I might lose some momentum, but if he stays in like I think he will, I'm going to catch him with this big Dark Force, and he does stay in. Goes for the T-Bolt, doesn't get the 10% power, thank God. And I completely understand why there. He was he spoke to me after the game. He's like, I just expected to go Empoleon. I'm like, yeah, because it made a lot of sense. But from my mind, there was really no need. And here I nearly did go into Empoleon this turn because I was sure he wouldn't let the Jolteon go down. But again, he could have gone into the Hariyama, I think, maybe. I'm not entirely sure of that, but I think he could have gone into Hariyama. And taken one, and that would have just sacked that or something and got momentum that way. And Empoleon then would have been in a really bad position against Hariyama. And also, again, I can just bring Empoleon in for relatively free on this Clefable. So I'm okay with this, you know. He doubles out into the Jolteon, and I'm like, yeah, that's a good play. That's, you know, now he's... I could have stayed at a Dark Pulse. That would have been really next level plays. But I don't mind losing Empoleon here to get my rocks up, because I'm now starting to wear things down a lot, and I can start to make some predictions, and I'm really still just trying to win with Scolipede or Hydreigon in the end game. So I've either got to get everything into Flash Cannon range, or everything into Scolipede range and hope that I live the roll on the Zygarde. So here we just go for the Ice Beam because I'm like, just kill me. I don't want you having a free sub. There's no way I should let you get a free sub here. So we do pop his sub as he tries for it. We also make sure that he can't bring the Zygarde in for free and potentially try and set up. And now we can go out into Hydreigon. And here I think we click U-turn maybe? Yeah, U-turn, because here I don't think that he will want to let me just kill off the Jolteon. So we can go out into Hariyama, and here we see a bit of a problem. He has a Custap Berry, and we're in a custom game, which means it is allowed, but it's not allowed in the league because it's unreleased in Gen 7. So this was just a problem in his prep. It wasn't a big deal because we found a way around it, which was just that he clicked Sleep Talk on the team that he had boosted speed, turn that he had boosted speed. I didn't go for a Swords Dance here anyway because there's no point in me setting up with that Zygarde in the back still. I still have to try and pivot around that Zygarde a little bit more if I can. So I just went for the Poison Jab anyway, so completely fine there. As he goes out into Mega Blastoise, and here I'm just going to go into Slowbro. I can take any hit from this thing apart from a Dark Pulse. I always take 2 Dark Pulses, but I think I can take a Scald into a Dark Pulse. And also without Regenerator, this Slowbro is just kind of bad. It's just kind of bad. So he does pop off the Dark Pulse. Oh, we don't take it. We do not take that. I take that back. We do not take that at all, but it gives us a free switch into Hydreigon. And here we just go for the Flash Cannon because I think he's going to go into his Clefable. Yes, it gives him a free switch back into his Blastoise, but we at least get some big chip on the Clefable. Knowing that it gives him a free switch back into his Blastoise, we go into Scolipede here. He just goes straight for the Ice Beam, and that's GG at this point. Banded E-Speed just cleans up. The reason we did that was because we had got some chip on this thing. If he went back into Blastoise, we then could have maybe Poisonium Z'd the Blastoise after Rocks. Maybe we start to give ourselves a chance with Scarf, Hydreigon in the back if we get like a Dark Pulse flinch on this thing, and maybe on the Zygarde too. We're trying to play to some pretty hacksy outs, but it's just my best play. We might as well pop off our Poisonium Z here just in case he decides to switch. At least we will claim some differential. So, and Scolipede does pick up 3 kills in this game, killing all 3 of his mons. So, Scolipede moves higher up the MVP, which matters to me because I want to win MVP this season with Scolipede. As stupid as that sounds. So, he just goes for the E-Speed here and polishes us off. And E-Speed is able to kill Hydreigon from this range. So, we were in a pretty bad sitch to begin with. But we were just trying to play to some outs. E-Speed was a roll to kill from the last, like, 20 turns ago, so we were always battling against the tide. We were just trying to find the only outs we potentially could. So that's how the game ends. GG to my man Socrates, a well-deserved 3-0 win. I can have no complaints. There weren't really any hacks in this game. Me forgetting regen on Slowbro really just put me in the back on that amazing Hariyama set. And yeah, really that Hariyama set won him this game in terms of just being impossible for me to switch into with the team I built and being such a smart bring with a Sleep Talk 3 attacks. So I really respect that set and the game he played here. He played really well. I do think this was one of my better games against Sock, considering how in the back I was early game, that I ran it to 3-0 and that I gave myself a semi-chance at times, almost. Hopefully next time, if we meet him in playoffs, if we make playoffs, hopefully we can get some revenge and finally beat the man. But who knows? GG to Socrates. His channel will be linked down in the description. I don't know if he's still uploading his ABC battles. I haven't really kept up. But he was uploading some ABC battles, so definitely go over and check out his channel. Socrates, if you're watching and I haven't linked it down in the description, scream at me and I'll link it down in the description. All that being said, guys, next week we go against Aquarius, one of my best friends in this community. Cannot wait for that. So, yeah, look out for that game. That'll be a good one. Thank you so much for loafing around with me, and I'll catch you again next time.